Greetings, folks. In today's increasingly globalized society, there is a popular notion that all cultures should be treated as equal, and to criticize any culture which is not your own automatically makes you somehow bigoted or racist. In this video, I seek to challenge that notion. At the outset, I want to be perfectly clear that the things I discuss here should by no means whatsoever be taken as an endorsement of the idea of racial superiority or inferiority. I do not believe in the doctrine of racial superiority for any race, and I feel that those who do seek only to take credit for the achievements of others who merely happen to have the same skin tone as they do. That being said, what I will talk about today will focus mainly on South African society, as South Africa is the country I am most familiar with because I've spent my entire life here, and I don't feel qualified to speak with any authority on any other nation. However, there is one thing I would like to say about people who are fortunate enough to live in the first world, who nonetheless seek to characterize their nations as the product of a tyrannical and oppressive patriarchy. To those people, I wish to say, if you want to see the effects of a real patriarchy, come and spend some time where I live. The main reason I was driven to make this video today is to explain the fact that South Africa's main problem is not one of race, despite how much our politicians would like you to believe that. The issue here is not one of black versus white, but of a clash of cultures. For black South Africans today, it is a very difficult situation to live in, because in many ways South Africa is a society of living contradictions. By that I mean much of our culture is trapped and controlled by the past. As an example, our politicians live like tribal kings and not public servants. They decry and degrade any black South African who chooses to become educated and develop the ability to think critically. And most famously, former South African President Jacob Zuma described educated black people sarcastically as clever blacks. He used this phrase because in the tribal mentality, loyalty, especially blind loyalty, is favored much more highly than the ability to think for oneself. And it's no wonder, really, if you were a despotic leader who only cared about maintaining power and enriching yourself and those around you, what kind of voter base would you prefer to have? People who question your behavior when it is obviously corrupt and unjust, or uneducated, unthinking people who simply go along with whatever they are told because they believe that you are somehow royal or above them and therefore cannot be questioned? I believe that unless South Africa can somehow break away from this tribal mentality, we will always be stuck in suffering and many of our people will live their lives in abject poverty. This is not because white people are inherently superior, not by any means, but the simple fact is that Western culture and capitalism in particular have been shown throughout history to be the most functional ways for humanity to operate. I'm not saying that capitalism is perfect and without flaws, but a capitalist democracy is, in my opinion, the best system by which we can operate, because it allows people to thrive based on individual merit instead of collective guilt. I truly hope that something can be done about my country so that we do not have to linger in this kind of constant fear and questioning of what our lives will bring in the next 5 or 10 years. The pragmatic part of me does not believe that things are likely to change, because I have looked at the history of the continent, and I'm sad to say that things very seldom change for the better here. But call me an idealist, I still believe that there is a chance of South Africa being made a success if enough of us work together and put aside petty tribalistic grievances. For now, farewell.